Welcome to another Walk It Out Wednesdays with Coach T. And for those of you who may be new to me, I am your women's empowerment coach, Toria Renee, known to my journey walkers as Coach T. So, I created this midweek chat just so I could give you some encouraging words that's going to help you walk out your journey to the very best version of yourself. And together, by God's grace, we're all going to walk or get better at that walk. Okay, we are in week 2 of the March series, Women's Month, Women of Purpose and Power, and we are exploring excerpts from the book entitled A Woman of Purpose and Power, that's written by the late great Myles Monroe. So last week we talked about women as enhancers. This week's topic is women as reflectors. And for those of you who already have the book or are gonna get the book, I'm coming from page 90, okay? So again, we're talking about women as reflectors. And I think it's important for us to understand that as women, although we are designed to receive, we are also empowered to choose. So even though we're designed to receive, we can choose. We're empowered to choose how and what we're going to receive. I've actually separated this chapter into 4 sections, okay? We're going to start with the design, then we're going to go into distortion, then we're going to go into responsibility, and then we're going to end with restoration. So we're going to start with the founding scripture, 1 Corinthians 11:7, where Paul says simply, really simply, the woman is the glory. A woman is the glory. Did you know that glory actually means radiance? So something that shines, something that reflects. Now, Dr. Myles Monroe teaches this principle concept mostly in the context of marriage. But I want to stretch us today. I want to stretch us today because I want us to start seeing ourselves through a lens as women. I want us to start seeing ourselves through a lens that surpasses just being a wife. Because yes, while we are created to be helpmates and helpers and designed to be helpers, that doesn't mean that we are incomplete on our own. It doesn't mean that we're waiting to function. Check that out. It doesn't mean that we're waiting to function. It doesn't mean that our purpose is on some type of pause until someone chooses us. Hear me when I say this. I'm going to get in a little closer. I'm going to lean in a little closer. You can hear me real good. You are not a half waiting to become whole. Did you get that? Did you catch that? You are not a half waiting to become whole. You are already a whole woman. You're already a whole woman. So it would stand to reason that marriage, while it can be an expression of your design, it is not the definition of your design. Marriage is not the definition of your design as a woman. I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. Marriage is not the definition of your design as a woman. Okay? So I want us to truly understand the spiritual makeup of a woman, not just how she operates in a relationship with a man, how she operates more in a broader sense, how she operates as an individual, with God, herself, and with the world around her. Because once you understand and allow that to saturate your whole entire spirit, let me tell you something. You are going to move differently, choose differently, and you will carry yourself differently. I am a witness because I promise you that's what this book did for me. Okay? So when I look at Proverbs 27:19, it says, a water reflects the face, so one's life reflects the heart. A woman is designed to reflect what fills her heart. Do you know that we as women have a powerful capacity to internalize what we experience? Words, environments, treatment, expectations, your own little self-talk track that you have running around in your head that can't nobody running around in your head that don't nobody else hear. Not only can you experience it, then you can turn around and express that outwardly. So that tells me that we don't just experience life, we absorb it. And what we absorb eventually shows up in everything we do and say. Okay? So here's where that distortion comes in. If you look at Ephesians 5, Paul is repeatedly telling husbands to love their wives. Why repeat that if it's not important? Why repeat it? It's got to be important. Here's why it's important. Because love is essential. It's essential for a woman's flourishing. It is essential. Love is essential for us as women to flourish. But even though love is our fuel, no human being on planet Earth was meant to be the primary source for that. So when we look to other people to be our primary source of love that fuels us to flourish, it makes us unstable. Versus when we look to God to be that source, it actually makes and helps it actually helps us to become grounded, to become anchored. That's what you really, really want, right? 2 Corinthians 3:18 says, as we behold the Lord, we are transformed into his image from glory to glory. What you consistently behold shapes you what you become. So which brings me to responsibility. You may not be able to control who pours into your life all the time, because sometimes you just can't control what people are going to say, and they maybe can be speaking into your life intentionally or unintentionally, right? But you can't control what people are going to say because that's not your lane. I can't say, oh, I know you're going to say this, so I don't want you to say it. That's not going to happen. You're not going to know. You're not a part of their brain, their mind. You'll control what comes out of their mouth. What you do control is what you do with that information that they give you. Do you allow it to stay in your heart and take shape and form, or do you kick it out because that's not for you, right? If you consistently entertain criticism, I'm telling you now, you are going to grow insecurity. If you are going to continue to rehearse rejection, I'm telling you, it's going to shake all of your confidence. It's going to shake it. It's not going to be, your confidence is going to go take a plummet, okay? Downward spiral. It's plummeting downward, okay? If you stay in spaces and situations, even in relationships that dishonor your presence, dishonor who you are as a woman, dishonor what your convictions are, what you stand for, I'm telling you, you will begin to shrink. And before you know it, you are no longer standing on those standards anymore. But, if you intentionally receive truth, love, even sometimes correction, and your overall identity from God, your reflection is going to start to change. This is true in every area. I'm talking about friendships, leadership, business, motherhood, ministry, dating, and marriage. Your life will always echo what your heart is full of, is filled with. Now, maybe as I am saying this, you're recognizing some of these patterns in your life, and maybe more than you'd actually like to admit. And maybe you're actually asking yourself, what is wrong with me? But that's the wrong question. The better question is, how do I restore what's been shaped by the wrong deposits? I think the first thing that we need to do is we need to acknowledge that some of what we reflect isn't always coming from what others have deposited in us. Instead, it's coming from some of these internal unhealed sources, right? Example, if you're always feeling angry, maybe you need to ask yourself, what wound have I left unaddressed? unresolved? What wound have I left to just fester and get infected? If you're constantly feeling insecure, I'm going to need you to ask yourself, what lies have you allowed yourself to believe? And if you're constantly on the defense, everything's got you on the defense, I want you to think about those first moments when your trust was broken, because the only reason you're on the fence is because somebody showed you that they couldn't be trusted, that you couldn't trust them. So as you start to answer these types of questions and you start sorting through your feelings and your emotions and this your unhealed trauma is what Dr. Cheyenne Bryant would call it, and forgiving those offenders, even if one of those offenders happens to be you, even if one of those offenders happens to be your parents who you love and cherish dearly, even if it happens to be the person that you've carried a torch for all these years, even if they happen to be dead and gone already, right? That's how you're going to start restoring your clarity. And once that clarity is restored, it's going to start changing what you reflect. So let me leave you with this. You were designed with a receiving nature. As a woman, you were designed with a receiving nature, but you are empowered to choose your source of receipt. So when God becomes your primary source, you're going to stop reflecting survival and start reflecting strength. You're going to stop reflecting your wounds and your unhealed trauma, and you're going to stop trauma bonding, and you're going to start reflecting wisdom. You are not defined by who loves you. Can I say this again? You are not defined. I'm going to lean in so the people, you can hear me real good. You are not defined by who loves you, nor by who fails to love you. You are defined by what you choose to receive and who you choose to behold. Ladies, when you fill your heart intentionally with the love of God first, then the support of others that have true positive intentions toward you, you won't only reflect the light, you will radiate it, which means you will illuminate, you will light up pathways just because you walked in the room. Okay? You will be the ray of sunshine in the middle of a cloudy day. I'm trying to tell you. If the characteristics of a reflector sound a bit challenging for you to grasp, no worries. Let's enhance those skills together, because we can do this together in my new book study in April. Simply inbox me the word woman and I will send you the link to purchase the book, A Woman of Purpose and Power, and I will also send you an invitation to the book study. This has been Walk It Out Wednesdays with Coach T. I need you to tune in next week for week 3 of Women of Purpose and Power. I am the Coach T. Keep walking and just be you. See you next week.